So hi there, this is going to be a mini Pilates workout, and as always, if you're injured, then I would suggest this is not the workout for you to be doing right now. If anything's uncomfortable, then you stop. And we should never be in pain when we're exercising, so if anything feels like you're in pain, then I would suggest stopping. We want to feel the muscles fatiguing, but we shouldn't be in any pain. So we're going to start with our feet hip distance apart, and if you're not sure how to get hip distance apart, we bring our feet together, we turn them out like Mary Poppins, then we turn our heels out, and voila, we have hip distance apart. If we want to keep checking our hip distance apart as we go through our session, we take our thumb, we take our little finger, take it over the toes, and we want our little toes to sit in those 2 points. So shoulder blades are back and down, they're resting in our back pockets. Knees are slightly soft. Let's just have a little warm up. So we're going to rock the pelvis, so we're tucking the tailbone under. So tucking the tailbone under, just bringing that movement. And this is just a good movement anyway for releasing the lower back if you have tightness in there. And then tuck it under and hold it in place. So it should feel slightly different to your normal posture. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on our breath. So bring your hands to your rib cage. In Pilates, we breathe laterally. So we breathe into our ribs. So we breathe in, we breathe out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now think of the rib cage as like the gills of a fish. So they're expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. Get used to that breath. We're going to maintain that breath as we go through. Hands relax by our sides. The next thing we want to do, so we've got that tuck under, is we want to pull the pelvic floor in. So all the muscles from the back of the bottom through to the middle, round to the front, we're drawing them in. We're drawing that belly button in towards the spine. And gentlemen, that is your crown jewels. Imagine you're walking into ice cold water and everything jumps up. That is what we are doing. We're holding that in place. The next thing we do is we imagine we're wearing some really nice high-waisted trousers, my favourite type of trousers. We've got a belt on and we're taking that belt as tight as we can. Oh, so there's no movement in that. And then we ease it off, ease it right off. So say it was on a notch number 10 to begin with, where it's super tight. We're easing it off to a notch number 3. So we've got about a 25-30% connection going on there. And we want to maintain that. We've got a nice juicy beef tomato resting under the chin. We don't want the chin jutting out and that tomato rolling away, and we don't want the chin squishing downwards and bursting that tomato all over the chin. So those are our basic teaching points that I will keep coming back to. Pelvic floor, tailbone tucked, abdominal connection, making sure we're not jutting the chin out or retracting it back. Shoulder blades in the back pocket. Let's start with just a simple mobility. So let's just start with a cervical rotation. So we're just turning the head to the center, and then to the center and back. So breathe out as you rotate, into the center, and only rotate the head as far as feels right. So let's have one more to the right and one more to the left, and then bring it back. Let's laterally glide. Now we're taking it out to the side. Now if we've got osteoporosis, we're keeping this range really small. But if we don't have osteoporosis, we can go a little bit further. Again, if you've got lower back issues there, you might want to keep it small. Any disc issues, keep it really small. So nice and steady, we're just sliding out to the side. And we want to be making sure we're going the same distance, equal sides, equal on both sides, okay? And one more to the right, one more to the left. And let's do some rotations. So hands across the chest. We're going to keep the hips facing forward if we can. We're just not going to encourage them to move. So we gently rotate the upper part of the body. So the cervical part of the spine, thoracic part of the spine is moving. The hips may move, but we're just not encouraging it. And again, if we've got osteoporosis, we're not worrying about how far those hips are moving at all. We're not worried at all. We just let them be where they are. Okay, that's if we've got osteoporosis. So let's just have one more to the right and one more to the left. And again, remember that breath, breathing out, breathing in. Coming back to the center, we're going to monkey squat. So feet are hip distance apart, and we push the bum out and bring it back. Push the bum out and bring it back. If I look down, I can see my toes. Imagine you're going to the toilet and we're just bringing some energy into the legs. If you've got any shoulder issues, you can by all means keep the arms down. Remember that beef tomato under the chin, so as you come up, you're going to be looking forward. As you come down, that gaze will be slightly downwards. 2 more. And last one. And relax. Feet hip distance apart. It's called the sassy walk. So let the legs swing, let the arms swing, hips shift side to side, just as they would move naturally when we walk. So just a little bit of freedom for a moment, and we're going to go straight into our mini workout. So relax. We are going to start with some simple lunges. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my angles. So right foot's forward and left leg's behind. We have a nice space between them, so they don't want to be narrow. Nice big step back. Toes want to be facing forward. Now, of course, if you've naturally got a turnout on your feet and that's your normal position, that's fine. But try and have them as facing as forward as you can. Lift your heel up at the back. Bring your hands to your hips. We bring our index fingers across the waist, meeting around the navel. They want to be level. If they're not level, we bring the hands back. We adjust the hips and then bring it back. And all we're going to do is come down 90 degrees at the front. I'm checking, I can see my big toes, 90 degrees at the back. So we inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. And if we want to make it more challenging, we can bring our arms into that move, up and down, up and down. So just 4 more of these. Breathing in. Last 2. Last 1. Relax. Turn to the front. Legs nice and wide. We're going to have a little bar from Pilates. So nice wide clear. Feet are turned out to 30 degrees out to the side. Tailbones under. We're pelvically and abdominally connected. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now as you go in this position, look, can you see your toes? If you cannot see your toes, that means you need to go wider. So again, inhale. Exhale. Knees are pushing outwards. Nice and steady. Last 2. Relax. Shoulders back. Rotate in the opposite direction. We've automatically got the opposite leg in place for those lunges. Check your toes are pointing forward. Heel comes up. Hands to the hips. Let us check. Are they level? So index fingers come across. Check their level. Draw it back. We go down and up. Down and up. Can we see our toes at the front? If not, step forward further. If we want to bring the arms in, we can. 4 more, nice and steady, strong moves. So this is an energizing Pilates, little mini workout, and last one, and relax. Come back to the front. We're going to just do a balance work, move onto the floor and do a few more moves. So again, feet together. If we need a little bit of space between these, that's absolutely fine anatomically. That tailbone's still tucked under, so I've got a posterior tilt, I tilt forward, tuck under, core strong, engaged. All we're going to do is lift the right leg, left arm, turn the head. Now we can keep the big toe on the floor, that's option 1, we're just doing the right side. Or take it an inch off the floor. When the arm and leg's lifted, we rotate the head. 2 more, we're just doing 4 on each side. Rotate the head last. Okay, and remember, as we lift the arm and leg, head rotates back, then the arm and leg come down. We do the same on the other side. So we lift, head rotates. Remember, we can keep that big toe on the floor. You work to your level. Your balance is going to be tested When we're working on balance, we're working on stability in the opposing knee and ankle. Trying to keep the hips and shoulders level. And relax. Let's move onto the floor. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the thighs. Walking all fours. Hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, shoelaces to the floor. Elbows slightly soft, tailbone to the back of the room, eyes, shoulder blades slightly together, and eyes and nose looking down. I'm not looking in front, and I'm not dropping my head down. I've got that beefy tomato, and I'm holding it in place. And all I'm going to do is alternate between taking my arm, scooping it under, separating my shoulder blades. My shoulder's going to dip down, but my hips are going to stay level, and then bring it back to where it came from. So I take it under and back. Breathing in. Breathing in. This is nice for just opening up the scapula, so the shoulder blades, if you're quite tight in there. One more either side. Last one. This one's a tough exercise next. So shoelaces to the floor. We take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we lift our table. Knees, shins come off the floor. And then bring it down. Just 5 of these. So we inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And I should be able to rest my G&T on your back without you spilling it whilst we're performing this one. Last time. So this is like a plank prep. And relax. Tuck your toes under. Gently walk it back. Coming over onto your bottom now. So if we've got any lower back issues, we just automatically roll onto our side and come down. If we're okay in our back, we can do a roll down. So our feet are hip distance apart, hands beneath the thighs, core is engaged, shoulder blades back and down. Take a deep breath. Exhale, walk it down. Let it relax. Let it relax. I'm just shifting along the mat a little bit. So we should have neutral spine here. One thing I always say to people when you're laid on your back is check where your eyes are looking. So we should be looking straight up to the ceiling, not behind us, not in front of us. If we're looking behind, we need to nod our chin. If we're looking in front, we need to lift the chin. And if you find you adjust and you're still tilted back, which means you've got an overextension or tilted forward, then you may want to just take a small towel, place it underneath your head to give you that right positioning. So hands are by the side of the bottom. We're just going to start with simple imprints. So all we're going to do is lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling and then imprint the lower back. So the lower back is pressing into the mat, mid back presses in, upper back presses in. Then I gently release upper back, release mid, lower back, so I've got natural space. So I'm gently imprinting one part at a time, lower, mid, upper, releasing, releasing, releasing. And it may feel like you're not doing much, but imprints are such an amazing exercise. They're working that deep transverse abdominis, which is like our waist cinch. It holds all our organs in place. The abdominals are a layer that is a light layer that sits at the top. The transverse abdominis does so much. And we're working that pelvic floor. And as I've mentioned previously, I think the core is where all our movement comes from. So we should be engaging the pelvic floor and that abdominal belt all the time. Doesn't matter whether we're working out or not. That's going to strengthen the area, but these are just so good. And they really release the lower back a little bit as well. So now just bring it back. We're going to go into bridge. And it's a Pilates bridge, not a yoga bridge. So we're not looking for a curve. We're looking for a nice diagonal line. The hands are by the side of the bottom. Taking note, where are the eyes? Core, pelvic engaged. Feet, knees, hip distance apart. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. Imprint the lower back and then begin to lift. It's a sequential lift. So it's lower, mid, upper. We hold in position. If you start to get cramped like I am, you can always take your feet further away. Then we bring the upper back, the mid back, the lower back down. So imprint, lift, lift. Come down, upper, mid, lower. And if you're not sure whether you're coming up too high, you can place your hands on your rib cage. If your ribs start to splay upwards, that means your range is too high, you can make it smaller. Okay, so nice and steady, bringing it up and down. And again, we're looking for that shoulder, hip, knee alignment. But if you've got your hands on your ribs and you find that as you come into that position, that the ribs are splayed up, they make your range smaller. I mean, anatomically, we are all different. And the way in which our ribs sit is different on different people as well. So last one, we're just going to hold this last one. Hold it here. Nice and steady. Can we lift our right heel up? And as we lift the right heel, bring the hands, index fingers onto the hip bones. Let's keep them level. Tip that right heel down. Left heel comes up. And let's alternate between. So the heels are coming up. Lifting up and down. You're going to feel that more into the glutes, into the calves, into the core, into the thighs. We're working so much in bridge. And then both heels down. Upper back comes down, mid back comes down, lower back comes down. Feet together, knees together, gentle sways. Gentle sways. And then let's roll over onto our front for our last exercise. So this time, all we're going to do, this chair's in my way, is we are just going to lay with our hands on top of one another. Let the forehead relax on the thighs. Take your legs as wide as your mat. This is called gluteal bracing. So all we're going to do is squeeze our bum cheeks as tight as we can. Your ankles, knees, feet are going to rotate in. That's fine. That's what they need to do. Don't let them lift off the floor. And then we let them release back. Now, glutes are really important. They do a big job keeping us upright, moving our legs, assisting in so much. So this is a good exercise to be really conscious. It is one glute working more than the other. Because if one's not functioning correctly, that means our muscle sequencing, which is the order of how our muscles should move when we do movement, that could be causing you back issues, all sorts of different imbalances. So it's really good to be conscious of your body. And I would say most of us walk around unconscious in our bodies, not really conscious of how our body is moving. So Pilates, yoga, good chance to be really present in your mind and your body. Yoga brings in that spiritual mind part, whereas Pilates we focus mainly on the body. So last squeeze, really holding those bum cheeks together. They're having a really good Frenchie. Kissing really tight, holding it there. Holding, holding, holding. And then let it relax. Tuck your toes under. Hands by the side of the chest. If this is too much to push up and push your bum back onto your heels, just roll onto your side and slowly come to all fours. We take a deep breath. We exhale, we push up, bum comes back. Toes are tucked under, push the bum back. Stretch into the toes. Remember, as we get older, our toes stiffen up, the bones stiffen up. So really good to keep nimble and mobile in the toes. And let's just have a couple of stretches whilst we're here. So walk the hands back, nice and steady. Take your right foot forward and gently let your shoelaces go to the floor. Lean into it, get a hip flexor stretch just along here. Just hold it there for a moment. Well done, well done. And then bring it back. Straighten out that leg. Let the toes come towards you. So you're going to get a hamstring stretch into the back of the thighs. Holding it for a moment. And we're just having maintenance stretches here. Obviously I'm using the wall for balance there. And gently release. Let's change over. So maintenance stretch is generally around 15 seconds. And that's just doing exactly as it says. It's maintaining the muscles. So nice and steady. Hold it there. Taking a deep breath. As you exhale, gently come back, straighten that leg. Feel a stretch into the hamstring. And it's not unusual for you to have tight hamstrings. Most of us have tight hamstrings. If you run, definitely going to have tight hamstrings. So just hold it there. If you've got low back issues, it's likely you're going to have tight hamstrings. gently. Which leg is weaker, right or left, right or left? Take one forward or keep it forward. So I've just kept that forward because it's my weaker side. Shoulder blades back and down. Let's inhale up, toes tucked under. Exhale and relax. Well done. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Constructive feedback's always welcome, so please put comments at the bottom. Take care. Bye.